Your things. Oh, maybe. Is that you?
Chag Sameach, everyone. It's Rabbi Cleel here. I'm joined by Cantor Tracy, and we are so happy that all of you could join us for this special service. As you know, it's still Chag, so again, Chag Sameach. This is somewhat unique, given that it's the 8th day, which is a major day of the whole Passover unit. And we made a special exception because we wanted the opportunity to pray together as a community and also have the opportunity to be able to recite the Yizkor communally, joining with one another. It just felt that that was the most appropriate way for us to deal with the nature of this day, given the global pandemic that we're all experiencing and the requirement to stay at home. So we'll begin with a little davening. If you've downloaded the Shabbat and Festival Siddur Sim Shalom, we'll start with the Ashrei on 226.
Ashrei Yoshvei V'Techa Od Yehalu Chasela. Tilat Adonai Yidaber Pi V'Barach Kol Basar Shabbat Shalom Va'ed V'Anachnu Nevarach Yah Me'ata Ve'ad Olam Hallelujah.
I'm going to end with a reading on 228.
We're just going to start from a few minutes.
It's about 5 lines from the bottom of the page
We wanted you to see how we are sitting
in the English, and 228. Trust in Adonai forever and ever. Adonai is an unfailing stronghold. Those who love you trust in you. You never forsake those who seek you, Adonai. Adonai, through divine righteousness, exalts the God with greatness and glory. That's certainly our prayer today and for every day that we are experiencing this global pandemic. At this time, we're going to invite those of you who can rise to turn to the silent Amidah. We're going to ask everyone who's joining us by Zoom to mute themselves. This way we don't interfere with anybody's tefillah, anyone's davening, anyone's opportunity to meditate in silence. The silent Amidah begins on 242b. If you're still in the midst of davening your silent Amidah, please continue at your own pace. The rest of us will join with Cantor Tracy for the Elena 248.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לבני מלך מאחר המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Today is the 8th day of Pesach, the 22nd of Nisan, April 16th. We lovingly remember the following individuals whose yortzeits are being commemorated today. We recall William Barron, Clara Burks, Maurice Brown, Sarah Dater, William Finkel, Ben Finkenstein, Dora Globerman, Fanny Golden, Sarah Gorin, Laura Greenberg, Myrtle Greenberg, Ned Grodsky, Paul Gutnick, Gordon Hotchman, Stuart Hotchman, Morris Horowitz, Rose Kraut, Doris Miriam Lerner, Joseph Leverhand, Saul Malinsky, Sarah Paulo, Max Rosemond, Fredel Sarah, Bessie Schneider, Zalman Zisman, Shano Stitz, Max Tao, Sam Unrode, Morris Victor, Jaime Weiner, Rivka Wiesenthal, and Corinne Zimmer. All those who are in mourning, who have yortzeit, or whose custom it is to recite the mourner's Kaddish. The Kaddish can be found on 249. Yikadal, Yikadash, Shemei Rabbah,
Amen.
Ve'alma divrach yurtei, ve'amlech malchutei, v'chayechon, v'yamechon, v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kari v'imaru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam omei amaya. Yiparach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh. V'itadar, v'italev, v'yitalal, Shemei dekudesha,
Brichu.
Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran ve'alma v'imaru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imaru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'romav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imaru. Amen.
Amen.
Thanks, everyone. Just before we begin with the Yizkor service, I wanted at this point to recite an Amisha Berach, that is a prayer for all those who are in need of healing. Of course, we think about the people who are on our list here, and for those of you who are joining us by Zoom, if you want to type in the person you have in mind, you want to type in their name, that would be good. It's going to be hard for me to read that name, but at the very least, you've put out the name, and you can do so either in writing or just, if you want to send us the name telepathically, that would also be just fine. in addition to thinking about people who are ill and in need of healing, and thinking about all of us who are experiencing this whole situation and the anxiety that it's causing, and I've said this before, but I think we all could use a little bit of healing. In addition, and I'm looking now at the Zoom page, and I see my Aunt Cheryl, who's on with us, and I'm thinking about people like her son, Jeremy Rose, used to be my baby cousin, but he's no longer a baby. He's a full-fledged ER doctor in New York, in Manhattan, and he's really on the front lines of all of this. And I think about all the other medical professionals, doctors, nurses, everyone, EMTs, all the folks who are really risking their lives to ensure that this pandemic does not spread more than it already has. So I'm going to recite the Mishaberach, and again, when I pause, in whatever way you choose, please add the name of that individual you have in mind. Actually, Cantor Tracy said she would read the names, so that's going to work out well. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Imotenu Sarah, Rivka v'Rachel v'Leah, Hu yevarech v'yirapeh et kol ha'cholim b'kila k'dosha et
Rachel Leah bat Etel
Amen.
ובן עמי בן פנינה וחיה בת יהודית וזר קוולסקי ואת חניניתי ואת ג'ניבר סוטר ואת אשלי פר ואת פיליס ביגלמן
Chaya by Yitzchak v'Bela, Levan Balbus, Chaya by Miriam the Common. And again, all of those who are in need of healing physically, mentally, and spiritually. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Malei Rachamim Aleihem Lahacha Zikam Rufotam Yishlach Lehem Mera Rufua Shlima Min HaShamayim Refuat HaNefesh Refuat HaGuf B'toch Shar Cholei Yisrael Yom Tov Hu Milzok Rufua Krova Lavo Hashta B'Galav Zman Kariv V'nomar Amen. Elena Refana La Thanks. We're now going to transition to the Yizkor service. Some people have the custom of standing, and I don't want you to think too hard about this. If you want to stand, by all means, go ahead. And if you would prefer to sit, please do what's best for you. But just a short introduction to the Yizkor. You know, memory is such a fascinating concept. In some ways, memory can be liberating and opening for us to recall with deep affection the people who are no longer living in this world, and can take us to a place filled with joy as we remember those people. And sometimes memory can serve in the opposite way. It can cause a great deal of pain. I hope the memory that you have of your loved ones at this time is one that only brings you joy and only brings you solace, and that you carry the memory with those who are no longer here, those who you cherish so much, in a way that will guide you and strengthen you as we make our way through this difficult time. Yizkor, which is recited on Pesach, Shavuot, and Shmini Atzeret, as well as Yom Kippur, is a time set aside to formally include our thoughts and prayers, family and friends who have passed away. During the joy of our festivals, we stop to remember those we love, a parent, a spouse, a partner, a sibling, friend, and in some cases we mourn the tragic death of a child. May the memory of those we recall be a blessing in our lives. Friends, we are so fortunate to have the technology and the technical savviness of the people who are working behind the cameras. Avram Shirak, Barry Kay, and Gordon Steindl, who are just going above and beyond. But we are now in for a treat, and I want to ask our technicians to take you into something really special, a piece that is entitled At the Cafe Sandburg, created by our very own Myron Schultz, the president of this congregation, along with his sister Erica Schultz, his, Daniel Kulak on bass, and Ben Mink on fiddle. Erica is on piano, Myron, of course, is on clarinet.
So there's a delay from this feed to that feed, so that transfer.
Thank you to Erica, Myron, Daniel, and Ben for that beautiful piece. And I hope our friends on Zoom were able to hear it. And of course, the folks who are being live streamed. We're going to turn now to the beginning of the Yizkor service. It can be found on page 188, and Cantor Tracy will chant in the Hebrew.
Adonai, Madam, Vatadayu, Benenos, Vitach Hashveyu, Adam, Lehev, Eldama, ימיו כצל עובר בבוקר יציץ החלב לערב ימולל ויבש תשב אנוש הדקה ותאמר שוב בני אדם שוב אדוני אדנותי וינחם על עבדיך.
Please join me in reading responsibly on the English on 188. There is a time for everything, for all things under the sun, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to laugh and a time to cry.
A time to dance and a time to mourn, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to forget and a time to remember.
This day in sacred convocation, we remember those who gave us life.
We remember those who enriched our lives with love and beauty, kindness and compassion, thoughtfulness and understanding.
We renew our bonds to those who have gone the way of all the earth, to those whose memory moves us this day.
As we reflect upon them, we seek consolation and the strength and the insight born of faith.
As a parent shows love to a child, Adonai embraces all who are faithful.
God knows how we are fashioned and remembers that we are dust.
Our days are as grass, we flourish as a flower in the field. The wind passes over it and it is gone, and no one can recognize where it grew.
But Adonai's compassion for those who are steadfast, God's tenderness to children's children remain age after age unchanging.
70 our years may number, 80 years have granted the vigor, laden with trouble and travail. Life quickly passes, it flies away.
What are mortals, eternal God, that you should be mindful of them?
What are mortals that you should take note of them, that you have made them little less than angels?
The sounds of infants attest to your power. The magnificence of life reflects your glory. The heavens display your splendor. What majesty is yours throughout the world.
Teach us to use all of our days that we may attain a heart of wisdom.
Bless us with your love in the morning, that we may joyously sing all of our days. Shiviti Adonai lenegdi tamid. Mimini ba'alemot lachan samach libi v'yagel kibodi. Af besar yishkon laveta.
At this time, we'll turn to 192 and add our personal prayers. We'll take several moments of silence to remember and recognize, pay tribute to those people who gave us life, beginning on 192. Typically, I recite the names of the members of Congregation Etz Chayim once, which happens on Yom Kippur. But for some reason, there was something tugging at my heart that said this year it would be really important to remember those folks at this time, and perhaps even on Shavuot. I think it's important that we celebrate their legacies and understand what they gave us in order to make it possible for us to flourish and thrive in this particular Beit Knesset, in the physical location, but also in general, as we take the spirit of Etz Chayim out to the streets. And one day soon, we'll be able to do more of that. So we lovingly recall the members of our congregation who no longer dwell on this earth. Over the last year, we've lost Jack Litvak, Theodore Ted Hector, Frank Schiffman, Edith Speller, Earl Simmons, Marvin Perlman, David Banuk, Morris Chapnick, and Marion Golfman. And of course, there have been others in our Jewish community that we lost, and we remember them as well. They have a special place in our hearts. We pray this day that all who have sustained the loss of loved ones be granted comfort and strength. Exalted, compassionate God, comfort the bereaved families of this congregation. Help us to perpetuate everything that was worthy in the lives of those no longer with us, whom we remember this day. May their memory endure as a blessing, and let us say,
Amen.
We'll join now on the top of 196 as Cantor Tracy will recite the Malei Rachamim, the memorial prayer for all those who perished in the Shoah.
Malei Rachamim, Shocheinu b'maromim, Ametz menucha nechona, tachat kanfei Ashchina, במעלות קדושים וטהורים כזרק ים מזהירים לנשמת כל אחינו בני ישראל שנטבחו בשואה, אנשים, נשים וטף, שנחנקו ושנשרפו ושנהרגו, שמסרו את נפשם על קידוש השם בגן עדן, תהי מנוחתם. אנא בעל הרחמים, אז תרם בסתר כנפיך לעולמים, וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמותיהם. אדוני נחלתם וינוחו בשלום על משכבותיהם, ונאמר אמן.
Amen. These do I remember, and my heart is grieved. These 6 lamps burn perpetually as a memorial to our 6 million Jewish brothers and sisters, innocent victims of the unspeakable Nazi brutality, whose sacred memory is enshrined in our hearts. May their tragic fate be a grim reminder of the havoc wrought by blind hatred, a stern warning to all people against silence in the face of tyranny, and a solemn admonition that we must never forget them. We'll remain on 196 as Cantor Tracy chants the El Malei in memory of all those who have passed.
El Malei Rachamim Shochen Mameromim Ametzem Menucha Nechona Tachat Gan Verschrina B'ma'alot Kedoshim Utehonim Gezor Rakyam Masirim Lenishmat Kol Leila Sheizkan Vayam Livracha Shelchu Leolamam Began Eden Menuchatam Ana Bal Rachamim Astirem B'seter Knafech Ha'olamim Utzror Bi Tzror Chayim Nishmotehem Adonai Unachanatam Ve'anucho V'shalom Al Mishkevotehem V'nomar Amen.
Amen. Let's join together on 197. We'll read the English of Psalm 23. Adonai is my shepherd, I shall not want. God gives me repose in green meadows and guides me over calm waters. God will revive my spirit and direct me on the right path, for that is God's way. Though I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no harm, for you are at my side. Your staff and your rod comfort me. You prepare a banquet for me in the presence of my foes. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and kindness shall be my portion all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of Adonai forever. We'll invite everyone to join us. We turn to 198 in the Hebrew, the Aramaic. Kaddish is also in transliteration on 199. Together, Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, v'yamad yivrach kirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'adalav b'zman kariv v'yimeru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam amen maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitahar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Damiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom v'ramav, u'yaseh shalom, Aleinu Val Kol Yisrael V'Yimaru. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, everyone. As I get readjusted here, I want to thank you all for joining us. Before we leave you, I want to say the following. I mentioned it to folks, I believe it was Tuesday night. From the second night of Passover until the holiday of Shavuot, we count the Omer. We count towards that moment of revelation. And every week corresponds to an emanation of how God manifests God's self in the world. This is the week of Chesed, the week of loving kindness. I want to acknowledge that by remaining in your homes, you are fulfilling that obligation of providing kindness by not coming in contact with somebody who's either infected or if you yourself are infected. So remaining at a distance is a form of kindness. The second thing is that each one of you, when you remembered and recalled the loved one, said that you were going to donate tzedakah. That is a form of loving kindness, of paying tribute to your loved one, honoring them by doing something in this moment while you're in this world, something they can no longer do. So I want to encourage you to give. There are so many wonderful places to give, so many appropriate ways in which that your funds will really further and help other people. Especially, I want you to think about those who are really impoverished, the homeless in this particular city. And I want to add just a little plug to think about offering some kindness here to Etz Chayim. We're going to need to do more of these virtual programs, and we're going to need your support. So after Chag, don't do it now. Consider supporting us. And finally, the way you can fulfill this whole notion of chesed is by doing something that is meaningful, not just in terms of charitable causes, but something that's meaningful to other people. So I hope after Chag, you'll be in touch with Cantor Tracy, and there's a whole group of people who are part of the initiative that we started, I can't believe it's been a month, Congregation Etz Chayim branching out, a way to be there for people who are shut in and disadvantaged, and to make sure they know how much we care about them as a community. If we as a congregation can't demonstrate that, there's no reason for this building to be open any longer. And if we can't do so in a moment where we're experiencing a global pandemic, it's all the more reason not to be a congregation. But I know in my heart that people like you who are listening to this now will do the right thing and will offer that form of chesed, that form of loving kindness. Last thing I want to do is just remind you that we will have services Friday at 5:30, so please join us for that via Zoom. And I'd like to end on a positive note, because as much as it is important to pay tribute to those who we no longer living, it's also equally important as a way of honoring them to live your life in the most meaningful way. That's a way of honoring those people. So I don't want us to gather just for sad occasions. I want us to gather for simchas and for ordinary moments. Let's promise each other we'll do that. And I'm going to stop talking, but I want to ask Cantor Tracy to lead us in Oseh Shalom.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'akol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'akol Yisrael. Shalom, shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael.
Amen. Chag Sameach. Enjoy the rest of your Pesach. Enjoy that matzah. because God knows it'll be another year before we need it. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye. Yashar koach, yashar koach.